now we're gonna get into again, I don't want to call these people rappers. I don't even know what to categorize her as. I'll just call her a
Influencer.
social media personality and
Yeah,
influencer.
that's fair.
But Bad Baby, who runs in hip hop circles, is defending herself against claims that she is a cultural appropriator.
Mhm.
So, she says she's not appropriating black culture. She just grew up around black people and always felt comfortable. Uh, so this says Bad Baby denies being guilty of cultural appropriation. I grew up around black people. Regardless of being an accused cultural appropriator, Bad Baby denies that she's trying to mimic black people. The Florida rapper was interviewed by Camila Arroyo in a video posted on May 23rd and addressed the speculation around the 45-minute mark. Shortly before Baby, real name Danielle Bregoli, became a viral star, her first claim to fame was the infamous Catch Me Outside moment on Dr. Phil in 2016. But around the 47-minute mark of the podcast below, Baby said that she's comfortable being an Italian Jewish white girl, even if her look and usage of AAVE, and mind you, I had to look that up um, because I didn't know what that meant, and that stands for African American something.
Variant.
It stands for dang, I had the tab open too. Let me get it back. It stands for African American Vernacular English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Whoops.
I had not heard that before, so that is new to me. But yeah,
I ain't
even if
saying that.
even if her look and usage of African American vernacular English say otherwise,
Oh my god, bro.
I never I never purposely put makeup on to be darker. I never told a makeup artist to do it. I never did anything to my body to look like a race. I just grew up around black people, she continued. Baby added that she simply has an accent and gravitates towards certain things black people do. Even from a young age, I never looked at a black person that was like, I want to be you, she said. The Miss Whitman artist then explained that she was raised in the same neighborhood as Haitian people, some who would braid her hair and called herself appreciative of the culture. But her previous comment caught some social media users off guard and insisted that she's using blackness to her advantage. Let's see. So here are some people commenting, then stop cosplaying us. Of course not. Nobody wants to be black and deal with the racism and oppression. They just want to benefit off our style, food, music, and culture. Also in the interview, Baby spoke about her tumultuous relationship with boyfriend Levon and discovering his alleged affair with Alabama Barker. I
It's
don't know who
terrible.
any of those people are. But so there you go, man. I do know who she is because she's been around for a hot minute. I
Mhm.
remember seeing her like around 2017, 2018 when she first started going viral. And people were saying even back then that she was quote unquote acting black. But what do you make of her defense of her defending herself against being a cultural appropriator?
I mean, you know, she could say that. I guess it's her brand. Um, it's her brand. This is how she got on. This is how she's gonna continue to get paid, I assume. So it's best to defend it. I know people that were not of the community that behaved, act, and talked like it because that's who they hung out with and grew up with. So I can completely understand that. Especially, I didn't know she was from Florida, but it makes sense now. Okay, makes sense now. So especially in Florida, coming up around people. She says she grew up around Haitian people, so I can see all of that. But at the same time, the only reason why she is who she is because she is, as they say, a white and Jewish girl doing this. It's a spectacle, and that's who she is as a person. And the reason why it's a spectacle is because there seems to be appropriating going on. So on one hand, she can sit there and try to defend herself and say that, yeah, this is how I came up. But on the other hand, uh, she's cashing out, no pun intended, because of how she acts. So I think that the internet calling her out for this, I think it's fair. because she doesn't act like, um, you know, I guess whatever black people act like. She acts like the caricature version of it, the overly dramatic, the sassy thing, like she's playing a role. And instead of, I've seen people that grew up around us and they're not acting. At least it doesn't seem that way. That's just, bro really talk like that. Bro really be out here like that. He really be dating black girls like that. He black. Even though he something else. But then there's the performative ones that they still grew up around that, but they're putting on an act, saying the N word a little too many times, doing stuff like that. And it's like, hey man, what you got going on? And he still has the card of, hey man, I grew up around all these people, but you're trying too hard. So for me, I really looked at this young lady here as a try hard, to go viral, and make a career off being a spectacle. A little white girl that acts like a Negro, and so she can say what she wants. But I think that the internet has a point here. So but what are your thoughts, bro, on the Bad Baby or whatever the hell her name is out here saying that hey man, I just grew up around black people, so that's why I act and talk this way. What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, Bad Baby, someone else who makes money on OnlyFans.
That's right. That's right.
I had to look this up.
No, we
She
covered that, man. We
she has apparently made $75 million on OnlyFans.
Oh my
So
goodness.
there's some basement dweller somewhere even subscribing to. And my thing, again,
75 million.
yeah, and that's net, not gross. So again, and what I would never ever in a million years spend a single dime on that abomination of a platform. However, however, I'm looking at her and I'm just wondering, like, she don't even really look that good. Who are y'all dudes? And
Bruh.
this has nothing to do with my point on this topic,
No,
but
but it's a fair question.
yeah, like, who are you dudes putting your money into this? Like, y'all need to get outside and touch some damn grass. Like, for real. Like, it's stuff like this that further informs me on the problem that this content is causing. The fact that she's making that much money, that's ridiculous. Like, she's so basic looking, bro. And again, even if she was bad, I still am opposed to OnlyFans. But I can rationalize the idea about it based upon how good she looks. This chick is she's so basic looking. I don't understand it. I don't understand who you dudes out. I don't know who you guys are who are running around out here spending your money on this stuff. But oh my God, like, you are really doing a disservice to men everywhere worldwide. Like,
To
this is
society.
like y'all need rehab. Y'all need to go to rehab for real. Like, this y'all need to go to rehab. But I digress. You know, the idea that she is a cultural appropriator is rooted in her behavior juxtaposed to hip hop. And so, in saying that, I don't believe that she is appropriating black culture because I reject the idea that hip hop is black culture. So, in my opinion, hip hop belongs to everybody. It has belonged to everybody for a long time now. Um, are the majority of the people who practice the music black? Sure. But does the music belong to solely black people? No. It is commodified and sold to everybody in all different communities. Everybody is buying it and consuming it. There's mostly white people who are spending the money on it. If you go to Coachella or Bonnaroo or any of these music festivals, South by Southwest, you're going to see a crap ton of white people out there. A lot of these rappers have a crap ton of white fans, and I only bring that up to say that this music doesn't belong to black people. It doesn't. If it did for a very, very brief period of time. And that period of time ended somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s. But since then, this has been everybody's music. Therefore, it is everybody's culture. Now, that is my belief. Now, me personally, again, and we've talked about this on this channel before, I personally am uncomfortable with accepting the idea that hip hop is synonymous with black culture,
Mhm.
because it means that many of the themes inherent in the popularization of the music are also synonymous with black culture. So if I'm to accept the premise that hip hop is synonymous with black culture, I therefore must also accept the premise that selling drugs to your community is synonymous with black culture. And I must also accept the premise that committing acts of violence against people in your own community is synonymous with black culture. And I refuse to accept the idea that any of those themes are synonymous with my culture. That's not my culture. It's not. So, because I reject the idea that hip hop is synonymous with black culture, I don't believe that the two are synonymous with one another. If a person who is not black is somehow mimicking hip hop or hip hop culture in any kind of way, I look at that as them mimicking hip hop culture, not appropriating blackness, because to me, blackness and hip hop, though correlated, are not mutually inclusive, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Now, if hip hop was more, if there was, if the music and the art form of the music and the ecosystem and the culture around the music was more welcoming from a mainstream standpoint of all concepts and themes, and
Mhm.
not just the violence and the drugs and the dehumanization of the men and the women in the communities and all of that other stuff, if there was more of it that was being popularized that wasn't that, I'd be more accepting of the idea that this is a part of my culture. But as it currently stands, because of the the industrial complex that is the music industry, I balk at the notion that that is my culture. Therefore, someone who is acting in kind with it is also not a part of my culture. So I can care less what they do. That's just how I see it. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. And I would imagine most people from our community think the opposite. They do believe that hip hop is black culture. I just simply don't. I don't accept it. I don't think a music form, especially one that glorifies his degenerative behavior, can stand in and be synonymous with the culture. Um, at the most, it can be like an aspect of a culture, but I don't think it can be this. I don't think it can be the culture of a community in totality.
That's
Um,
fair.
I, I think culture is a country of origin and a language of origin. From that, you get the customs and the rites of passage inherent in those, in that culture. And from there, you get music and all of that good stuff. That is not the way hip hop was formulated. Hip hop was formulated out of desperation because black people in this country actually don't have a culture. So we kind of invented one on the fly, but it really isn't an actual culture. So I'll just reject the idea that it's synonymous with my culture. So a Bad Baby or G Easy or Macklemore or any of these or Logic or any of these other people want to
Um,
sit around and be a part of hip hop, I say go for it, because to me it's a music form and nothing more. It is not synonymous with black culture. It never was. I've always rejected that. And the last thing that I'll say is, to anybody who doesn't like what Bad Baby represents or stands for, and I say this tongue in cheek, but I also mean it. If you believe that Bad Baby is appropriating your culture because of her behavior and the way that she dresses and acts and whatnot, then go and appropriate white culture. Go and be an accountant. Go do taxes. You know what I'm saying? Go start your own small business. Go do that. You know what I'm saying? Go start a lawn care service. You start some kind of a business where you're making money doing it the white collar way, because then you're appropriating white culture. But of course, no one will ever accuse you of doing that, because no one fixes their face to suggest that being an accountant is synonymous with white culture. But when it comes to this degenerative music and this degenerative culture, they'll say that that's synonymous with my community. I just don't accept it. I reject it. So as far as I'm concerned, let everybody in. If Bad Baby wants to be black, quote unquote, by acting like she's a part of hip hop, then yeah, come on, bring her in there. And that goes for anybody else who wants to be a part of hip hop, even if they're not black, because it's just not my culture.
hey man, fair point. And that's why I brought up that she behaves like the caricature of what black women are supposed to be acting like. The loud, obnoxious, whatever. Um it's the stereotypical one. So that's been her whole shtick to me. Is that's been her whole internet claim to fame, is the fact that there is, a little white girl out here acting like uh, the stereotype of a black woman.
Yeah.
And I agree that the stereotype of us is not culture. It's not my culture. That's for damn sure. Um, so yeah, man, I agree with that. And I need to start doing that more, because I agree with you. I don't claim that hip hop's my culture, but at the same time, I need to draw a firm line in the sand and say no. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. So yeah, I agree, man. So yeah, and to each their own. Because whoever wants to buy into this, whoever wants to literally give her money for behaving the way that she does, that's on you. And I can't stop these people, obviously.
Yeah.
They're gonna be doing it, they've been doing it, and they're gonna continue to do it no matter what she says or does. So to me, she's she behaves like a buffoon. And society has rewarded acting that way online, and she's definitely become a benefactor of that, so much so as to the tune of 75 million, which to me is just mind-boggling.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I could not believe that, bro. But hey, that's where we're at, man. But yeah, man, I to each their own. Again, I do agree with the internet stance on the fact that she is trying to be something that she's not. Um, Whether that thing is real or not, it's definitely an artificial culture, but she's still trying to be that.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and she can say that it's because of X, Y, Z. I think it's because there's really she found a way to exploit it and make a bag out of it.
Yeah.
Because when she was on Dr. Phil, she was definitely one of those fast teenagers. She was just being that, and she was talking like that too back then. So people can project that she was going to always be that way, but she'd also be lying if she said she didn't lean into it more once she saw that how much attention it got.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, I think both sides are maybe right on this one, but I agree with you the most, man. If she wants to appropriate buffoonery, let her have at it. That doesn't represent who I am, though.
Yeah. I agree, man. And it's just, it's deductive reasoning, man. If she's being a buffoon and you're upset that she is appropriating black culture, essentially what you're saying is
Yeah.
to
Yes.
be a buffoon is to be black culture.
Yes. Yes.
Just think about that. Like to anybody who feels that way. Like
Mhm.
essentially what you are doing is equating black culture to acting like a buffoon. Because I agree with you, she acts like a moron.
She
But
does.
but I'm not offended by that personally, because to me she's not identifying with that is not my culture. It's not. So
Agreed.
that's how I see that one. But it is what it is, man. When it comes to this hip hop stuff, man, we will continue to hold on to it and cling to it for as long as we're around. I kind of feel like we're always going to just hold on to this idea that that is our culture, and I've been let that go personally.
Yeah. Same, bro. Crazy.
But yeah, 75 million, bro. And the thing about it, what's so crazy, I looked her age up. She's 22. It feels like she's older than that because I've been hearing her name for years.
Yeah.
But that's just how this stuff goes, man. But that's that's modern civilization for you. Buffoonery gets rewarded, and you got these basement dwellers lining her pockets for nothing. I can't believe it, bro.
75 mil.